Yes, it's time for evolution. Share the video so that everyone can get a notification about this evolution. All right, here you see that I have skulls here. So I'm going to explain each and everything what you need to understand in the paper, so that by the time you go to evolution, you are able to understand it better. Tell your friend that it is time for this human evolution. I have the first skull. If you look at it, it looks like this. I think if you know, you can tell me which kind of skull is this. I'm going to talk about it in detail. I'm going to explain everything which is on that skull. This is the lower jaw of this skull. Yes. So basically it looks like this. Yes, so you have another skull here, you have another skull here. When it is connected, it looks like that. Then you have another skull here. Yes, you have another skull here, and then another skull here. So we are going to explain everything. This is the tool, and this is a tool. I know that some of you have ever seen these skulls in your school, but this is the time for me to explain each and everything. Before we start, let me just give you a review about this. So basically the review about this evolution. Remember, those people who are using my book for distinction material, you know that you can get a distinction using this book. But what are you supposed to talk about when you reach this evolution? I've talked about these topics: classification, don't go to the paper without knowing those things which you see in a different color. I've emphasized that. I've talked about the line of descent, that is the phylogenetic tree. Yes, we'll talk about it when you're trying to see different questions. I'm not going to take too much time when explaining this characteristics of humans which share with other primates. When you're answering this question, before I go to the next part which I'm interested in, basically those are the skulls, please don't go to the paper without knowing this, not as a whole, but as different sections, because we're no longer bringing this that describe the characteristics of humans shared with other primates. No, we will emphasize maybe on the head, on the forelimb limb, on the hind limb. So it means that you have to know that when you talk about the head, what are you supposed to talk about? When you talk about the hind limb, what are you supposed to talk about? I think I'm clear there. Let's go to the major part we are talking about, or we wanted to discuss about. Those are the skulls, differences between humans and the other primates. Now we are going to look at in terms of the size. If you look at this skull, if you look at this skull, if you look at this skull is a skull for what? Is a skull for monkey. Am I right? Tell me, is it a monkey? No, it is a chimpanzee. Is it a chimpanzee? No. What is it? Compare this and this. What do you think is this? Yeah, comment in the description so that I can see exactly what are you talking about. Yeah, okay. Anyway, this is a gorilla. Yes. This is a monkey, a chimpanzee. This is Homo. This is Australopithecus sediba, and then this is Homo naledi, and then this is the human being. What we call Homo sapien. So these two, this skull, and this skull, we call them a transitional fossil. It means that they have ability, or they have characteristics of the previous ancestor, or the ancestor and the next generation, or what it gave rise to. So if you look at this skull, how do we call this? These are what we call the broad ridge. When you look at this is a gorilla. I think you can see it clear now. This is a gorilla. It has, its broad ridge is pronounced. Look at the chimpanzee. The broad ridge is not that pronounced as that of a gorilla. What about Australopithecus sediba? Look at its broad ridge compared to humans. You see that humans, they don't have the broad ridge. It doesn't have the broad ridge. Yes. But this one, it's still there. Look at this chimpanzee. No. The gorilla. What is this? These are cranial ridges. The ridges which are found on the cranium. Yes. So what is the importance of these ridges? Is basically for muscle attachment. So you look at it. What about humans? We don't have. Why don't we have these ridges? It's because the type of food we are feeding on is not that as tough as the type of food these gorillas they are feeding on. I'm going to explain everything. I'm going to explain even inside, and so that you can understand. And then I'm going to give you some questions which you can see, so that you can understand it better. When we come to the exam, you can remember these skulls. I know that most of the government schools, you have these skulls. Yes, please go and use these skulls. Ask your teachers for life science so that they can help you in regard to this, so that you see them clearly, touch them, feel them, so that you don't forget this when it comes to the exam. Yes. So look at, we are talking about this muscle attachments. This is where the muscles are attached. Why do they have these muscle attachments? The parts where muscles are supposed to touch is because of the kind of food they are feeding on. Yes. So I'm going to come back to this. Then look at this. Because of the kind of food this gorilla is feeding on versus a chimpanzee, is the chimpanzee's food is not as that tough as that of gorilla. Yes. The cranial ridges are not that pronounced. They are very small. Check. They're not that big. They are very small. Almost they are diminishing. They are becoming vestigial. They are no longer important in these chimpanzees. Yes. So that's why you see that for them they are very small. These cranial ridges. But this one is too big. When it comes to human skull, automatically the broad ridge, the cranial ridges are gone. Why are they gone? Because we feed on the soft food, cooked food, the food which does not require too much force to grind, to break it down. Yes, that's why it is like that. What about this Homo? This is Homo naledi. When you talk about Homo, it means that it is an example of a human. Yes, it is an example of a what? A human. So this Homo naledi, because it is a link to humans, yes, is a link to humans, meaning that is a transitional fossil. It is still having some broad ridge here, because we are changing from these ones to this. You understand? Yes, so that now this one is, it keeps on decreasing, while this one, when it reaches to human, it's completely gone. Now, how do we bring this in example? Look at this slide. You'll understand what I'm talking about. When we come back here, you see that we say, now we're going to follow the, if you have the distinction material book, let's compare it with the real scales. The first one, the difference between humans and the other primates or apes in terms of the brain size. If you look at here, the brain size, look at the brain size of the ape. So when you're talking about the ape, now let's go back here and then we see exactly what you're talking about. Or look at this. This, the cranium of human is big compared to the cranium of a gorilla. Yes, is big. Don't forget that there is a difference between a cranium and a skull. If you look at this, here we are talking about, if you look at this, here we are talking about, when we talk about cranium, we are not talking about all of it. No, look. All of it is a skull. This is a skull. When you talk about a skull, this is a skull. But when you talk about cranium, we go inside here. The brain box, this box, what is inside here is what you call the what? The cranium. Let me show you using this other skeleton. If you look at this is a skeleton for human. When you talk about cranium, you're talking about this. Open your brain. Don't forget that your brain opens. If you look at it here, the size inside here, how big is this? The socket here inside. What is inside here? How much brain do you need for you to fill in this space so that when this one comes in, when it comes in here like this, it covers it. So how much brain do you have inside? If you look at these other primates, what is inside is too small compared to the body size. While they kind of check the way how it is designed so that it accommodates more brain cells. And don't forget that the more brain cells you have, the higher the intelligence. Don't forget that. Yeah, when you bring it in exam, that how is brain size? How is this cranium? I'm not talking about, listen, I'm talking about what is inside here. I'm not talking about the whole thing, like the whole skull. I'm talking about what is inside here and what is inside here. What is inside here? When you compare all of them, you will see that that one of human is where the brain goes is bigger than that of the gorilla, and is bigger than that of the chimpanzee, is bigger than the Australopithecus sediba, is bigger than Homo naledi. Meaning that we have a higher brain size. And if we have many cells, yes, it means that our intelligence is higher than any other kind of what? Is higher than any other kind of these apes. Yes. So I think I'm clear there. If you come back here again, and then we see exactly what happens there, you will see that here in human we have a larger space inside. That larger space inside, what does it mean? It means that you have more brain cells. If you have more brain cells, it means that those brain cells, they can bring about intelligence. And then if you look at this, the brain cells are very minimal, meaning that we have less brain cells there. Therefore, the intelligence is what? Is low. There are some things which the brain, why is this one big and this one is small? The reason is Yes. Why is this brain of the apes is smaller than that of human? There are some things which were lost. For example, the ability to speak, ability to communicate in terms of language. They have their own language, but that ability was not developed in terms of these apes. That's why the others which are also lost, that's why their brain is still small. But if those things were there, maybe their brain size will have been bigger. Anyway, let's go to the next thing. Now, when you look at the human skull, this is a human skull. We're saying that it's sloping face. This one is flat face. This is a sloping face. Look at these jaws. Look at these jaws. This is how we set it in exam. So now let me show you what happens. What happens when we are talking about this. Let me show you. Yes. So now, yes. If you are talking about this, look at this. This skull. Look at it. If you bring this pen, you see that it is not that slanting. It's not slanting. It's flat. What about this? Bring this pen and then check. Check. It's sloping. That's what they mean. That it has a sloping face. But as we evolve from these primitive apes into modern humans, check, the slanting keep on changing. It keep on changing and changing. Check hormonality. It's not that the slanting here is not that as hormonality. And then why? Because hormonality is just next to humans. So that this one is, so the more slanting this skull is, or the more slanting this individual is, the primitive that organism is. If it has a more sloping face, it means that it has a slope. I'm not saying that if you have a sloping face, you are primitive. You must have many characters or many features. Okay, if you have a more sloping face, it means that you are more primitive. If you don't have a sloping face that much, it means that you are more advanced. The same way as we say that if you have a small cranium, you are more primitive. If you have a bigger cranium, you are more advanced. So we saw. Let's go upside down. Upside down. Let me open that. Let me do that one. Yes, upside down. Don't forget that sometimes when you bring exam, we can bring them like this. Check. Let me make it like this. I hope you can see clearly. Yeah. Yes. Okay. And then I ask you. Anyway, we ask you. You have this. You have this. You have this. You have this. And then we ask you. Give two observable features between this and this. Between this and this. What are you going to say? This one has larger canines. This one has smaller canines. You see? This one, yes. Look at the shape. Rectangular shape. Look. You see? The shape is rectangular. Look at this. It's a C shape. Like it's like a U or C shape. But this is rectangular shape. But as you are moving aside, the rectangular shape keep on it trying to disappear. It's rectangular but not that rectangular. Look at this. Yeah, because this one is a missing link or is a transitional fossil between Australopithecus, yes, Australopithecus species, and Homo habilis towards the side of Homos, yes. It means that it has some characteristics of Australopithecus species and some characteristics of humans. Look at the kind of canines they have. The kind of canines, if you look at these canines, they are not as big as this. Check this. Check this. Maybe you don't see it clearly. Look how long it is. So this it shows, but check here, the canine is not that big as this one. So it shows that it has some characteristics of the previous species and the previous organism and the next organism or species and the next species. Why? Because it has not become extinct and still changing, therefore we call it transitional species or transitional fossils. I think I'm clear there. So when we go back here, we will see exactly what happened. You see exactly what happened. Yes. Let's go back here and see. Just a moment. When you go back here, we see that what happened there is just a little bit different. So let me just go through this so that now you can see, we can talk about, yes. Let me first go through this, then now I start to compare it with what is being, what I brought here. All right. Here, if you look at humans, they have a large cranium. I've talked about it, that these ones have a large cranium, while these ones have a small cranium. This one has a flat face. This one has sloping face. I've explained this. Brow ridge as pronounced. When you talk about brow ridge as pronounced, I showed you here that it is not that as big for the case of humans, yes, and then the other ones, brow ridge, are not that they are pronounced. You can see them. And then I was saying that less canine, the canines are smaller, the other ones, the canines are bigger. Look, we have to change this. You have to change this. Don't say that less protruding, less prognathous. Is less protruding jaws? Yeah, the jaws are not protruding out. But don't say that less prognathous. You have to change this, ne? Yes, this was updated that less prognathous, you say it's not prognathous. It's not prognathous. Or you can say that less protruding jaws. That one is acceptable, but don't say that less prognathous, say that not prognathous. And then when you come here, say that more protruding jaws, or you can say that it is prognathous. So you have to, when you're using protruding jaws, even this side you must use protruding jaws. If you're using less prognathous, even the other side you must use less prognathous. Yes. Then when you come to less curved spine, these ones I'm going to show you, but it's not about too much of the spine because I've not got the spine of the gorillas, but I have the spine of human. So I will show you how this brings about pedalism. And then now when you talk about the other ones is C-shaped. So if it is not prognathous, meaning that it is, if it is not C-shaped, when you are C-shaped, look at your grandfather or your grandmother, your granny. They can't stand straight. Which kind of shape do they have at the back? You see that they have a C shape. You see? They bend to bring about that C shape. You understand? That is what we are talking about, that if you are walking on 4 limbs, then you're going to bring about that C shape. You understand? And then if you are walking on not on 2 limbs, you are walking on, so did I say 2 limbs? If you're walking on 4 limbs, you're going to bring about that C shape. You're going to bend your back. And unfortunately, if you are tall, you're going to bend faster. Why? Because the spine might not be able to support you as much. Yes. But now if you are short, like someone I know, or someone who is talking. Anyway, yes. Your spine is, in most cases, it is more flexible, meaning that because the upper weight is not that much, then it can support that upper weight. Okay, we shall talk about it. Short, wider pelvis. I don't have a pelvis here, but I have that one of human, so I'm gonna show you also. I'm just trying to go through the theory, and then now I go back to the practical, so that we don't waste too much time. So we are saying that here we are saying that the spine, here the spine, the pelvis is short and wider. In this case, this is short and wider if you are small, if you're able to walk on two limbs, while here it's long and narrow. So what does it mean? Long and narrow, weak. Short and wider, thick. Anyway, I won't talk about it, but if I teach you, you know about it. That if you are short and wider, you know what it means. If you are long and narrow, what does it mean? Let me know in the comments. If you are long and narrow, what does it mean? Experiment? Yeah, so because they are long and narrow, they can't support the upper weight. They can't support the upper weight. So if you are short and wider, lucky you. Then we are saying that you have small and semicircular pelvis. Yeah, I will show you how are they semicircular. The pelvis, where the teeth are going. I showed you, yeah, they're semicircular. It's like a C-shape. While this other one, the other primates, they are long and narrow, rectangular. Yes, meaning that they bring that rectangle. But I showed you that as you move from the previous apes or the apes, you are going to humans. It keeps on changing, and then it becomes more circular. It shifts from being long and this rectangular thing. It keeps on changing and changing. Yes. So I think we are there. Just a moment. Just 1 minute. Something. Yeah. All right. Sorry guys, it's just a technical thing here which I need to sort out. Yeah, I'm back. Yes, let's go to, so that's how it is supposed to be. And then now I'll also show you how this bipedalism, the factor of bipedalism, is being brought about. How does it bring about the thing of what? Of this bipedalism? How does it bring which features do we look at to say that this organism is bipedalism? Which feature do we look at? So first of all, we look at the position of foramen magnum, we look at the shape of the pelvis, we look at the shape of the spine. So if the foramen magnum is forward position, then automatically it means that it can allow this spine to connect vertically, so that there is no disturbance. It can connect vertically. If it connects vertically, what does it mean? It means that now you can walk upright. Pelvis is short and wider to support it, to support the upper weight. Take an example. If you have a small bed and you have a big bed, which one is going to support the upper weight more? You think it's a small bed? Then if you want a small bed, then your parents must buy you a small bed. Anyway, so when you are short and wider, it means that you can support the upper weight. What about the spine? Is S-shaped, so that it brings about flexibility. You understand? Flexibility. So if you are flexible, it means that the upper weight can be supported. You are flexible. You can move. You can walk. You can. When you are jumping, it brings about that shock absorbance. Yeah. Yes. It absorbs the shock. Yes. That's why they call it this shock absorber. So it brings about this bipedalism, walking on two hind limbs. Walking on two hind limbs. These limbs put hind. The word hind, when you use the word limbs, walking on two legs, yes, or walking on two. If you are using limbs, then you must add the word hind limbs, because we have the forelimbs and we have the hind limbs. Yes. Anyway, let's go to the next one. What are some of the differences between bipedalism and the quadrupedalism? Is there any difference? Yes, I hope so. There is a difference between bipedalism and the quadrupedalism. Those ones which they are able to walk on four limbs, what special feature do they have? Okay, number one, foramen magnum forward position, foramen magnum in the backward position. Guys, this is how you're supposed to state it. There are some books which say different statements, but you might not be able to get a mark. Don't forget that when I teach you, it is always we are always focusing on a distinction. Yes. Yeah, we talked about the spine is S-shaped. You see that it brings about. Okay. I won't talk about it. Yeah. Some people, they might think that this is a personal. This is not personal. Okay, you and your granny, who walks like this or like this? Don't look at the head. I'm talking about who walks like straight and bending. Who? Yeah. You'll find out that there is your granny who walks like this. His back is not supported that enough. Therefore, you try to bend. You bend inwards. Then it forms what you call a C shape. This American scientist said that ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. Ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. What does it mean? That history repeats itself. I don't know whether history repeats itself or we repeat the history. Anyway, yeah, he's saying that history repeats itself. The time. Why am I saying this? I just want to connect to. Before I go there, there is science, so that we study, we pass. You understand? And there is religion. So here I'm not adding religion here. So please, if your religion is about this, sorry, the same way, also mine. So now we are just talking about what is going to make us pass. You understand? Yes. So they say that ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny, that history repeats itself, that you started from water. Yes, you evolved from water. That's why when you are a sperm, you're fertilized by the ovum. The sperm fertilizes the ovum. You form that sac. Yes, the amniotic fluid will come in. Yes. So when you are developing there, you are like in water. That's where you started from, because your life started from where? From water. And it started as a cell. That's why when you're also developing, you are developing in a sac full of water. You have the gill slits also there. So you keep on developing. So you started to crawl. Even when you are developing is also the same. When you are walking, you did not walk immediately straight. No, that's why this one is also like that. You see? So it means that's where we came from. You understand? And then until you develop fully up to where you are, and then you have this. Therefore, when you are growing again, you go back to where you came from. That's why someone who is 90 years old will behave like someone who is 7, 8 years. Sorry. Yeah, because why? Is we have that trend. Anyway, let's go to pelvic girdle. This pelvic girdle is big and wider. It's short and wider, so that it can support the what? The upper weight. What about this? This one is long and narrow. Long and narrow. So if it is long and narrow, what is happening? It cannot support the upper weight that easily. Yes, it can't. Is there any sum of advantage of bipedalism? Yes, the advantages are there. Free hands, they can move. You can walk freely, standing upright. Movement is easier. Imagine when you are taking off, running easier. Why? You don't waste too much energy there. Then you have reduced exposure to sunlight. Then you have the body is raised from the ground, and then you have the sex organs are readily displayed. Yeah, when you're walking on two limbs, imagine you're walking on two limbs so that you can show your sex organs. Oh my God. Yes, sex organs are displayed so that they can see it. Who? I don't know. Yes. Anyway, that's science. That's not me. That's science. Now, question. Before we go to this, because I want to talk about this, and then now I go back to our skulls. Can you do this in 5 minutes? Just 5 minutes. Do them for me. Write them down. And then now we discuss, and then we find out if you have got the correct answer. Yes. Yeah. So now I'm giving you 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I don't have a timer to time you, but I'm gonna be timing with the time here to show you that on the I don't have it, but I'm gonna be showing you the timer. I'm gonna be seeing it here, meaning that 40 minutes you have to. We're gonna be talking about, and then now we come back to the skulls, and then I show you how do we set these skulls. How are you supposed to go to the paper when you know these skulls? Yes. You know when you have a phone, in a Samsung, you know that that's Samsung. Yeah, are you done? I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you to finish that so that we continue. Yes, I'll be showing you even my other questions, and then we see if we can catch up with them. Yes. If you have a challenge, let me know. If I'm to scroll down, let me know that you have finished. Shall we? Okay. Yeah. If you have a challenge, let me know. Are you done? Let me scroll down a bit. Like this so that you see it clearly. Yeah. Someone is saying that proud done. Oh wow. K file. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry, ne? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Before as we are continuing, guys, I'm going to be bringing classes. Yeah, bringing classes Fridays, Saturdays. Fridays, Saturdays, bring classes to you so that at least guys, you can get a distinction. Tell your friends Fridays, Saturdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Saturday in the morning, then Fridays afternoon, like this time, eh? Yes, so that when you are home, you have already uh, 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 um, you are home, ne? Oh, someone saying that I joined later. I didn't understand. Uh, it's fine. If you missed something, still you will be able to get um, the what we have talked about. You can replay it, and then you are able to get what you have missed out. Unfortunately, uh, you can't ask questions there. Why? Because I will be offline. Yes, I'll be offline unless you are asking questions. All right, guys, I think we are going to come back. Let me check here on our technology so that now we go back. We go back. Yes, here. Hmm. Yeah, technology. Okay, technology. All right. I hope. The network is not that good, so let's go to the question. They're saying tabulate observable difference between scale 1 and scale 2. Guys, what is scale 1? Let me check something here. Is chat for everyone? Let me check something here. Let me see if everyone can comment so that you tell me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, tell me, what is scale 1? What do you think is scale 1? Tell me, guys, what is scale 1? What do you think is scale 1? I want to know. Based on what you see, what do you think is scale 1? I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Some people are scared to say these things. Why are you scared? All right, skull 1 looks to be a gorilla, isn't it? What about skull 2? Guys, what do you think is skull 2? Tell me. What do you think is skull 2? Skull 2 looks to be human. I think you got it right, ne? Yeah. Share, eh? Yes, it's telling me modern humans. Good. Skull 2 is modern humans. Yes, correct. Skull 2 is modern humans. Skull 1 is chimpanzee. Now, let's look at it here. Yeah. Don't mind about the... don't mind about the what? The network, ne? Network, but yeah, I think you will get it. Yeah. Okay. Look at the skull. Skull 1 looks to be this. Looks to be this. But they have made it like that. They have made it like that. You understand? They have made it to be like that. I hope you can see. And then skull 2 is this. They have made it to be like this. Yeah. So they're saying that skull 1 is this, while skull 2 is that. Ne? So they're looking at, look at this and look at this. Guys, I'm still being disturbed by it's fine. So it means that if you are saying tabulate the differences, if you are saying to tabulate the differences, then it means that you're gonna say that skull 1, what's happening with skull 1? Skull 1, you'll find out that skull 1 has the brow ridge are pronounced. You can see them that they are well pronounced. The brow ridge, they are well pronounced. Look at it here. Well pronounced brow ridge here. This. It's well pronounced, you see. While skull 2, are the brow ridge pronounced? No. They're not that pronounced. Okay, check it here. It's not there. Look at the canines. Look at the canines here. They're not that big. Here, that's what I showed you here. Look at the shape, this shape. Rectangular. You can't see here rectangular unless it's upside down, but the chin is not that. The chin is not developed. Well, here, look at it, how sharp it is. The chin is developed, you see. Now guys, when the skull is like this, the way I showed you there, please don't talk about foramen magnum. Where is it? Do you see it here? No, don't talk about it. Yes. Rectangular pellets, you don't see it here. It's not upside down. If it was upside down, then you can talk about it. But because it's not upside down, you don't talk about it. You don't see it. Spaces between the teeth, can you see them? Can you see the spaces here? That's them. No, you don't see them. Yeah. So it means that you don't talk about it. So here they're saying observable, what you can see. So I think you can talk about this. Yes, here you can talk about the canine, you can see them clearly. Yes. You can talk about the flat, the sloping face here. You can see here the face is what? Is flat. You see? So you see what you observe, not what you crammed from your teacher. No. You talk about what you see, what you observe. Yes. 4 characteristics of upper. You see, that's what I talked about. That don't just go to the paper and then when you know that, yeah, I know everything. No. Talk about here. They are specific. The upper limb, upper hands. I don't know whether we have the lower hands. The upper limb. That's what you are supposed to talk about. The upper limb. How about the upper limb? Then you talk about it. Ne? The upper limb, then you go back to, this book is showing you very clearly. Yes, check. So they're talking about only this. Yes, that's the upper limb they're talking about. So your answers must be there. It must not go out of that direction. Yes. So then you have you have another question. They're saying that explain how increase in the cranial volume is related to intelligence. I explained it that as you have a bigger cranial capacity, it means that the intelligence is high. How high? Is because of the increase in the brain cells. When the brain cells are high, you have a higher intelligence. Look, I talked about it and I explained it here. And I say that here. I say that, look, you have the cranium. I explained this concept of cranium, that the cranium is big. When the cranium is big, it means that the cranium, not the skull, the cranium is big. It means that that box where the brain is stored is what called the cranium. So when the cranium is big, it means that you have more brain cells, and then the intelligence is also high. Yes. Then this is what we say, that cranium, the part of the skull which encloses the brain, which we call the brain box. Yes, humans have a larger brain or more brain cells to the body size. Whenever you are talking about the brain cells, you must relate it to the body size. Because if you don't compare it to the body size, then you won't get it right. Yes, it must be compared to the body size. Yes, so compare the body size, then that's lead to higher intelligence. The more brain cells you have, the higher the intelligence you're gonna have. So if when you are the best in class, does it mean that you have more brain cells? No, you don't have more brain cells. It's because you practice more. So you guys, if you want to be the best in class, you have to practice more, so that you make the brain have problems, and then those problems, the brain will find a solution for those problems, and then you become more intelligent. People who don't have problems, they're not intelligent. Have you ever asked yourself why God gave you problems? So that you can think more. Take note of this when you are thinking, when you have problems, how fast your brain is thinking. It's thinking more. That's why. So when you're talking about the brain size, the more intelligence, you're talking about one species over another species. But if you're talking about the same species, they have the same size of the brain. But how do you use your brain will make you more intelligent. You understand? Yes. So give your brain tasks to do, so that they can win that problem. So you guys, I'm going to stop here, I think. Yes, on this question. And then tomorrow 8 o'clock, yes, I'll come back and finish everything. And then so that at least you tell your friends, tell your friends. Then if you have questions, please prepare them. I have some questions here prepared for you also to do. They are here. I'm only going to pick out only 4. These questions. This is also another question. Only examinable questions. I don't have time to waste for questions which are not examinable. That one is not that one. Where is this question? That's another question. So I had prepared a lot of questions. So tomorrow we're gonna just finish up, and then now what I'm giving you time to go back and then try to do a recap. You understand? Try to do a recap, read, come back, and then let me know. Tomorrow, I think tomorrow I'm going to connect even Zoom, so that some of you have never seen me by face. Anyway, that's not a big deal, and I wanna see you so that you answer me questions, live. Sometimes you are hiding, but I'm going to send you a link so that you join. Let me give you my number now so that you can 0848331738. Then I'll send you a link where you can join our group, and then after that you will be able to, I'll send the link for the Zoom there. Unfortunately, it accommodates a specific number of people, only 100 people, meaning that first come, first serve on the Zoom. However, for YouTube, it will be 100%. It will be there, whether you are 20, whether you are 100, whether you are 200, then automatically you will be able still to watch and ask you questions if you are typing them. I think I'm going to stop here. B.SAIDI has been taking you. Tomorrow we're gonna come and we talk about these pieces. These pieces. Download the distinction material. Yes. These pieces, the phylogenetic tree, these ones. How do you memorize them? Yeah, all of them. We're gonna talk about them. What are you supposed to focus on when you are going to the paper? You need to know those things which you are supposed to focus on so that you can beat the examiner. Yeah, we want marks. We are not here to play. We want marks, and we will get the marks. We have to be at the university next year. See you when you see me again tomorrow. Tuzokubona kusasa.